Sweden, we make Volvos and we make Saabs, we make sensible cars. And then Christian von Koenigsegg decided to just drop the bomb, and everybody's jaw just dropped when he came out with the Koenigsegg. It's hard to believe that Koenigsegg has been in business for 20 years. 2002 is the year when the CC850 came out, which was the first production car of Koenigsegg. And to celebrate, what they've done today is release the perfect modernization of the CC850. And in this video, I'm going to let you know why this is such a special and well executed design by comparing it side by side to the original 2002 CC850, just to show you what I mean when I say perfect modernization. And in typical Koenigsegg fashion, the powertrain underneath this gorgeous body is an absolute beast. It's a twin-turbo 5-liter V8 pumping out a raging 1,385 horsepower, and guess what? That's exactly what this car weighs as well. So it comes in at 1,385 kilos, giving it a 1-to-1 power to weight ratio. And to transfer that power to the wheels, you can decide whether you want to have it in automatic mode or, listen to this, engage a proper 6-speed gated manual transmission. And this is something I don't think I've ever heard of, because you either have paddle shifters as manual or an automatic. Having an automatic or a proper 6-speed manual is just crazy stuff like this that I think Koenigsegg really do well when it comes to technology. There's no pricing info yet, but you know the deal if you have to ask. Only 50 will be built, and my guess is that all of them are probably already sold. So let's jump into Photoshop here and have a look at this beauty. This makes me so proud, because I remember when the CC850 came out in 2002. I was living in Sweden. I grew up in Sweden, in case you didn't know. Sweden, we make Volvos and we make Saabs. We make sensible cars. And then Christian von Koenigsegg decided to just drop the bomb, and everybody's jaw just dropped when he came out with the Koenigsegg CC850. And the reason why I think this is such a gorgeous design, and what Koenigsegg has been able to do so well, better than 90% of new cars, is establish a super strong brand identity. They have design features and graphics in their cars that you don't see in any other car, and that is a very hard thing to do, because this type of car, the mid-engine supercar, has been around for a very long time. So it's very hard to create a unique design. And you can see that today, even in the EV world. For example, these Chinese EV supercars coming out, they don't have any specific DNA to them or personality. And that's one thing that I think Koenigsegg at the moment are doing super well. I love the graphics in the front end. I love these big fenders that is typical for the early Koenigsegg, as you can see. And we have just a better fit and finish with the modernized headlights and the taillight. If you want to study plantedness in a car, I would suggest you'd have a look at this picture right here. This, to me, is one of the best planted cars I have ever seen, because we have horizontal lines stretching from one end to the other, as you can see, creating this super wide stance. And this is wider, longer, and taller than the original CC850. And have a look at these taillights. This is what I mean with Koenigsegg growing up and finding their build quality and improving on the DNA. In the Agera, for example, we had almost like an oval like this, but the LEDs were dots. So kind of like Tesla Model S has done since its beginning, but just recently upgraded to a proper modern looking LED shape in the taillight. That's exactly what's going on here. These are gorgeous taillights, but still very reminiscent of the original's 3 circular designs that we have in the CC850. And if we're talking about fitment of wheels inside of a wheel well, Koenigsegg is doing this perfectly, because this is exactly what I want to see specifically in a hypercar like this. Look at the tolerances here. It sits so nicely inside the wheel well. It looks almost unreal, and it is such a great looking design, this car. We have the big diffuser in the lower part with a center massive exhaust pipe right here. A simple design, and it doesn't feel, I don't know, they have their complete own design language. And I love that about Koenigsegg, specifically looking at it from a side view. We have this egg-shaped greenhouse and the visor design. This is a typical design that you only find in Koenigsegg. Looks like a fighter jet with this wrap around windshield, and you have the rear end as well, having these beautiful outlets and sculptures and creases in the design with these muscles looking like, this looks like a cockpit of a fighter jet more than it does a car. You have these big muscles in the top part of the greenhouse as well, fading into the body and then continuing with these big shoulders or muscular fenders housing the massive rear wheels. One thing I love about the interior of this and also some of the previous Koenigsegg is that they put the Swedish flag on top of the stick shift right here. Just details like this to remind you of where this car comes from. And look at this, we have some Pagani style mechanical pieces visible down here, and I don't understand how they managed to make a 6-speed gated manual and an automatic in the same transmission. It's just mind-blowing to me. Looking at the interior overall, it looks very much Koenigsegg in here, with some incredible attention to detail inside of these dials right here, for example. But I want to compare it to the original, the 2002 CC8S right here. Why this is such a great modernization of it. I mean, just looking at this picture, I think it's pretty self-explanatory when you look at them side by side. We have the same kind of proportions as the original, but everything has been modernized. So if I were to modernize this, this would be my dream result if I were to sketch up a new CC8S myself. Modernize the headlights, keep the key graphic features of the design like we have here. The 3 taillights, we have the same 3 taillights, but in a much more modern design. Even the diffuser back here have some connection to the original, because we have these 2 pieces separating the center part with the exhaust in the middle, having the exact same style on the original. So this is what I'm talking about. It's very hard to do this as a startup company, to bring in such a clear identity for the cars from the start, and then continuing that identity and having it look really good and really modern still 20 years later, without having the history, a long history to fall back on when it comes to creating these DNAs and the design of Koenigsegg. You can see the original, the fitment of the wheels, the tire. The wheels are a lot smaller than on the new one, but we still have a great fitment of the tire itself within the wheelhouse, but it doesn't compare to the new CC850. This just looks like they are part of the bodywork itself, these wheels. Such a gorgeous design, and you can see that the air intake and the side almost have the exact same shape as the original, although a little bit modernized with the radiuses and the curvatures here to make it look like it's a 2022 model instead of a 2002. For example, this is a lot more rounded in the rear. You have a little bit more of an angle in this 2022 model. This is a really exciting car for me, because this is what I want to see more companies do. Take very important models of the past and modernize them in this way. I don't think we need to rebrand or reimagine the DNA of brands too often if we have a clear identity from the start, and that is exactly what's going on here with Koenigsegg. So well done, Koenigsegg. Hopefully I'll be able to see one of these in real life at some point, since they're only building 50 of them. To me, it's just nothing short of mind-blowing what Koenigsegg has been able to do, in not just in their design, but also in their technology, from starting just 20 years ago to where they are today. And I can't wait to see how they're gonna evolve from here.